Hi, Claudia. It's very nice to
Hi.
meet you, and thank
Hi.
you very much for joining me. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Joseph, for having me. Nice meeting you in person after seeing your videos. So thank you.
You're welcome. And Claudia, thank you for being here. Claudia, before we dive in,
Yeah.
can you tell me a bit about yourself, how you discovered carnivore? How did it all start for you?
So first, I live in Dubai. I'm about 48 years old, and 3 years ago, I discovered carnivore. So it's more or less this period, let's say end of May, beginning of June. So I'll say June. I knew I am supposed to meet. I was meeting family members. I was meeting a lot, extended family at the end of the month, and some of them had diabetes. One of them had cancer. It was she was in remission at the time, and there were talks about a potential surgery to eliminate the potential cancer that might show up one day. And so I have a history of a lot of doctors telling me I need to cut many organs, starting with my ovaries when I was 18, continuing the thyroid, and few other things in my life. So I developed let's say, an allergy to surgeries and doctors and their opinions. And I discovered since I was 18 years old that there are different ways of handling your health, not necessarily through surgery. And so I went looking for something, anything. The first place I went was anything related to diabetes, anything related to cancer. So I was diagnosed as well with pre-diabetes, or sort of gestational diabetes, when I was pregnant. So I was quite familiar with the places where I need to search. And so I ended up on YouTube, from Google to YouTube. And in YouTube, I ended up discovering a completely different world. Just put it this way. It's like, that's how I discovered carnivore. Yeah. It's a very long story.
That's pretty awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much everyone go to YouTube University, and that's how, a lot of the carnivores. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you had health issues since you were 18, and then
Yeah.
the doctor said that you have to cut organs in your
Yeah.
body, this and that. Um did you pretty much go try different diets, like trying to solve your health issues in the past?
Um, yes and no. So first of all, I think the only time when I tried a diet was when I was pregnant. So during the pregnancy, I think the first 5 months, I gained a lot of weight because I was eating as everybody else. What I knew is what everybody knows is, like, eat balanced. And whatever balance means to anyone, and whatever balance means to the person that gives the advice, well, that's what balance is. I was fairly slim most of my life. I think I've reached somewhere around 26, 27 years old. I started to gain weight. And that's when I started to apply the eat balance, which meant basically portion control. I've looked at many, many other diets, but like Weight Watchers, and I don't even know if I can call them diets, but I looked into Weight Watchers. I looked into people were talking about reducing carbs, the diabetic ways as well. But nothing made sense, because I was like, well, we're supposed to eat carbs, we're supposed to eat fruits and vegetables, we're supposed to eat meat, so I don't know what to do. That's kind of, yeah. So during the pregnancy, that's when I was told, well, you'll have to go on a diet. So again, the stubborn part of me is like, I'm not going to listen to a doctor. It's like, you guys are always looking for medication or surgeries, at least in my experience. And so I ended up looking for something to help me. So that's the first time when I came across reducing the carbohydrates and eating a lot of protein. That's my first attempt. So that was about 2009.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't learn my lesson then though.
So, with your, I guess your medical provider or your doctor,
Mm.
have you seen a doctor lately? Did you ever like tell them, I'm actually doing carnivore now, or anything related
Oh,
to that?
so I don't have a family doctor. I don't have a doctor. I don't want to see a doctor. So I'll preface it like this. I have nothing against doctors. My best friends are doctors, or at least at the time, very good friends of mine, doctors. I still have one more. So I'm not against them. I'm just, let's say, allergic to the way they are trained and the way they think. That's the thing. So no, I have not seen a doctor. I think the last time I seen a doctor, it's about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's not even related to the carnivore. It's just related to something else because I had so many health issues. I do know a doctor that I have been sparring with about carnivore, and yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what she thinks.
I see. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. It is what it is. So, yeah, you just mentioned you have many health issues, especially in the past. So,
Yeah.
were there any specific ones that because you landed on carnivore and,
Yeah.
many carnivore did, specific health issues that you wanted to address specifically?
True carnivore.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so when I started, I was looking for the family members. I didn't think, well, I had issues, but I didn't think that I need to eat differently. That was the that was the enlightening moment, the aha moment for me. Was I thought I'm okay. Home cooked meals, homemade pasta, uh, rarely processed food, even the cakes or whatever. It was all made with fresh produce. Fresh apples, fresh everything. So I thought I'm eating. Everybody calls it, right? I guess I'll call it the same, the standard American diet or the standard diet. And I was like, okay, I'm good. I never paid attention to the pyramid, but I was like, I'm healthy. So I'll start with the issues and I'll tell you how I ended up actually getting rid of most of the products. They are kind of interrelated. My journey made me look back and at what happened when I was unwell and enable me to make decisions, very fast decisions for my next 3 years after I started the carnivore, after the carnivore. So since infancy, I had the rheumatoid arthritis. Eventually, so it's like pain in the legs. I've heard a couple of people talking about that and some of my friends. That's the only way I could describe it as a child. I couldn't sleep. It was very painful. And I was diagnosed with this rheumatoid arthritis about 20 years later, maybe more. I was 27 years old. So I would say maybe 25 years later, I was diagnosed with. And it was a generalized inflammation. So I like to say it from neck down to my toes. Inflammation, swelling. When I flared up, I couldn't walk. So there was a period of time when I was unable to walk for about 2 weeks. My boyfriend at the time, had to carry me from bed to the shower and back. That's how bad it was. I was on medication for about 2 months. And again, because there was nothing else for me, I didn't know what to do. I felt so miserable that I said I would rather stay in bed all my life than feel so bad, lose my hair and everything else. So that's the first one. That was somewhere in 2005. That was the first diagnosis. So I've carried that disease with me with the flare-ups. It got better, and now in hindsight, I can say, well, it got better because I changed certain things I was eating. I stopped eating as much junk food maybe or carbohydrates, and yeah, that got better. The next one it came very fast. It was somewhere in 2008 I was diagnosed with, and most likely it started in 2007. So we're talking about 2 years later, another autoimmune disease, Graves' disease. And that one is a it affects the thyroid, and the thyroid produces way more hormones than you need. At the time, the doctor said, you are at the last stage. I don't know whatever she meant. I guess like I couldn't produce more hormones that I was already producing. I guess, I don't know. And she put me on, there were 50 pills that I was taking on a daily basis. I cannot tell you the name since then, but I was taking them, well, to calm myself down. I was shaking. I was slim. I couldn't sleep. So I would sleep maybe half an hour to 1 hour a night at the time. Sweating, like I had to change my shirt when I was going to work. So those were the symptoms. So that's how I started. And Graves' disease as well. Well, it's, so first I was like, I'll just open a door, and I would say, I am fascinated by the mind. I'm a neuro-linguistic practitioner, trainer, coach since about 10 years. So it's like, I was already fascinated by the power of beliefs and behaviors. So that's baked into Graves' disease. I started looking at eating differently again, cutting the carbs. So kind of I had a pattern. And thinking, okay, this doctor told me that's my path. So there's no cure. We have to remove the thyroid 3 years later. You will never get rid of medication. So you're on this medication, then you're on hormones. And something in me, so that happened when I had the famous ovaries the doctor wanted to take because of an infection. I mean, like, why not? Sure, you have another one. Like, why not? It's not mine. And she was a woman as well. And so I've learned that sometimes the doctors give you a prediction for your future. And if you buy into it, I would say just buy candles and bury yourself because you're dead. And so I actually bought into what she said. You will start sleeping again, because I was desperate. You will feel better. You will. And I guess 7-8 months down the road, I was like, man, I believed everything that she said. And that's when an idea sparked. What if I can get better? So I would put it on my mindset, and obviously I changed what I was eating. So I would say the diagnosis was somewhere in July 2008. By 2009, August, I stopped myself the treatment at the doctor. So whoever is listening to me is the doctor. I'm sorry, but I know better, not you. I stopped it because I wanted to get pregnant, and 2 months later, she figured out that my hormones are okay. She agreed to stop it, even though she didn't know. I got pregnant. I had my daughter. So that's the next one. And then after my daughter, I took a period of rest. I gained weight. I was inflamed. And I ended up with endometriosis, which is another autoimmune disease, and nobody has any idea what to do with it. I have no idea for how long I carried it. Between 2010 and 2018, when I was diagnosed, I had symptoms. I had no idea. I had to have a surgery for it. And so every single time through this history, I've modified the way I was eating. Now, what's fascinating is, if you want to dive into it, at the time, I was vegan vegetarian in 2018 when I was diagnosed, because I'm coming from there too. I was an animal lover, feeling sorry for animal person. Yeah. So imagine what happened when I discovered carnivore.
Wow, I can just imagine the switch, from vegan and then vegan and vegetarian and then carnivore. Yeah. I mean, you have quite a health journey here, because you started pretty much trying to solve someone else's health issue, and then you had your own, and you have multiple, like with the rheumatoid arthritis, you have other inflammation, Graves' disease, and the recent one, which is the
endometriosis. It took me some time
I
to
didn't want
learn
to
how to
butcher
say
it.
it. I will. It's fine.
So this is quite a something to deal with, like a lot. So like after you switched to how long have you been carnivore now?
So I would say the first 6 months, so 3 years. So it's like 2020, 2023 to now. 3 years. The first 6 months were, so the first week was I'll prove it, like, because it was like no fiber, no carbohydrates, no. We're in Morocco, so it was not easy to try carnivore because the only thing that they had was chicken. And very fast, in the first week, I discovered how much the spices were affecting me. Because I started to eat clean. So I was like, breakfast were eggs and eggs. The rest were fruits, vegetables, and pastries, mostly pastries. Then lunch was chicken, dinner was chicken. So I had the whole meat chicken. And I felt good. First things first. It's like, I guess eliminating the carbohydrates was big. More energy, switched on in a certain, even though that was chicken, switched on somehow. It felt right in my body. I felt good. And I should have known, because when I stopped being vegan, vegetarian, I had meat. I guess I would be like in those videos with vegans when they tried for the first time in a long time meat. I ate a piece of beef in a Turkish restaurant and I was in ecstasy. So I should have known. Yeah. And then after I came back from Morocco, I was like, you know what? I want to continue. It didn't work with the family members. They stuck, the surgery happened. They stuck to their guns. They're still in the same situation on, I think, Mounjaro now for diabetes. And I was like, you know what? I like it. It feels right. And what helped were the testimonials of so many people that've tried it. I don't think a doctor would have convinced me, because the doctors were like, okay, carbs are good, and then carbs are not good, and sugar is good, and sugar is not good, and oxalates, well, you should ignore them, and plants are good, and you need fiber. So that the community, the doctor community on the internet is split in all directions. So I would have never believed the doctor. Like, oh, you should eat that, for sure. But the people's testimony, so that's what I did. Is I was gorging, I was binging, whatever you want to call it, on is like listening to people who had similar things to me, but even cancer or whatever it was. And that gave me even more, let's say, courage and determination. It's not even courage, it's determination to continue. I did have alcohol, not every day, but when I would meet my friends, I had alcohol, and I had some carbs in the first 6 months. And I regretted it, but big time. Yeah, so that's how I started to figure out, there is something about this.
Yeah, I think, you know what, it totally makes sense now about your comment about the doctors, like, you know, being allergic to their suggestions, comments, but nothing against them, pretty much.
No.
Yeah, exactly. It made a lot of sense now, because, you know, what you've been through, like the suggestions, and then, like, you know, nothing worked, and then you had to do your own extensive research to pretty much like find a way to heal your own body. That is quite a lot, but it made total sense. So this benefits pretty much like you getting better. How would you say, like, how long did you see that effect? Was that like something gradual? Was it just like a month, or maybe a couple of months?
So feeling better in my own skin, feeling satiated, feeling good, feeling right, less inflammation in the first week, even though on chicken. And I continued. I continued that. We were actually going on another vacation on a cruise, and I continued there. And when I came back at home, I always prioritized protein, fruits and vegetables, not at all. I did live in a house with my daughter and my husband. They were eating the regular food, so I was still cooking for them and for myself. So I would say instant changes, but then the more time passed, the more I started to notice the effects that the carbohydrate would have on me, for sure. Plants as well, some fruits and vegetables I tried. And so that's where I listened as well to the doctors on YouTube who were talking about the oxalates, were Barkey, Dr. Berry, Dr. Westman, I will not remember all of them. What I'm saying is, like, I've listened to what they were saying about the carbohydrates, about the oxalates, saturated fat, and everything else. So that's when I started to pay attention. I was trained to go to the med school, so I could follow their speech. I can read my own labs if I want to. So that's what enabled me to pay attention to everything and notice, if I eat meat, I'm well. If I eat a piece of bread, I fall asleep in about half an hour to 1 hour. If I eat plants, I feel bloated, uncomfortable, bad. yeah, so that's kind of how it started. The first week, but then the next 6 months were trial and error for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you have like some instant changes,
Yes.
and this is all
Yeah.
like positive,
Yeah.
and then some later on, but still positive. So you mentioned oxalates. Did you experience oxalate dumping like maybe sometimes in the beginning, or maybe because you're 3 years on your journey
Yeah.
now, right? Like,
Yeah.
or is mhm.
I was not on the lookout. So I felt sand here, like sandy behind my on my back, actually, not behind my neck, just like on my back. Sandy, my skin was sandy at times. My face, yeah, I didn't have anything in my eyes, but yes, I felt it. What was interesting, I've noticed how much, so the looking at everything that I had, I was mostly a carbohydrate junkie, even though I was pretty slim. So you would have called me a slim obese or a slim diabetic, if you want to call me.
I think they
So
call it skinny fat, like
or
in
a
here,
skinny
yeah.
fat, or I don't know. Like I have a name. Clearly I had a name. So I had a belly, a lot of visceral fat. My outside tissues, like everything was fat, even though I was slim. So you look at me, it was like, oh my God, the famous cellulitis that women talk about. Well, I got rid of it. Now I couldn't get rid of it because that was all carbohydrates. So I've noticed that every time, it's like I didn't have as many plans as like in the first 6 months. It's like I've noticed that I would not feel well, and then my skin would be itchy and I would dump those things. Yeah. The biggest one was actually with the carbohydrates, because I think that was my main diet. No, I know that was my main diet as a child. And so every time I eat carbohydrate, even today, if I touch a piece of cheese that is fresh, in half an hour, you will find me drowsy somewhere in a corner. That's how affected I am. Yeah.
Well, wow.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a trigger word for me, like a carbohydrate junkie. I think I used to be one also, and I call myself like a skinny fat. Um, yeah. What was your favorite food back then?
Oh man, I was eating everything. I used to love pasta, homemade pasta. I even have the pasta machine in the house. I don't want to give it away. It's like a memento. So I was eating pasta was my favorite one to a certain extent. I've never had a sweet addiction to. I never loved cakes or chocolates and I never understood people who loved those. But I had to have potatoes. I had to have bread, pasta, pizza, whatever it was. I was addicted to them to a certain extent. Yeah. Yeah.
I see. Well, I think I feel like we have similarities when it comes to that. I'm not a big fan of sweets, but from time to time in the past,
I
like,
can.
Yeah.
I can.
And then big on pasta and noodles and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, there you go. Yeah. Skinny fat.
Yeah. Claudia, so like looking back at my health journey in the past, like I had many assumption what was causing my health issues. Like I think I looked on my genetics, maybe a specific trigger food, or maybe I'm just dirty. Did you had any assumption what was causing your health issues?
So the premise of genetics didn't come to my mind, and that's again, I'm maybe I'm built different than other people. I had a conversation when I was about 14 years old. My mom, on my mom's side, my mom and her two sisters, including her mom, her brother, they are all obese. And so they were at the time anyways, they were in their 40s, every single one of them. My grandmother is very young. She had my mother, when she was 15 or 16, I think. So she's very young. She was 50 years old at the time. So I guess, and so we're having conversations about me laughing at them that they were big. And they're like, oh, ha, 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 you will be like us one day. And so I was like, no, I won't. And I proved them that I was not. What I didn't know is that I had everything that they had inside the fat, not on the outside, it's on the inside. So I never looked into that. I did look into, I couldn't understand why eating well, even though we all say that we eat well, but we don't. Like we like to lie to ourselves. But I have been, and I thought carbohydrates are healthy. People still think today that you should eat carbohydrates because we need them for our muscles, just to start with. And so I thought that I'm okay. My genes are good. Everything is okay. I didn't believe that I'm going to get cancer because of that. However, through this journey, I discovered that there was a huge influence of what I was eating, the carbohydrates specifically. I would assume the oxalates were related to my joints, inflammation. They had a huge impact on all the autoimmune diseases that I went through. Every single one of them. Nothing genetic. I was not allergic to anything. I could just cough at pepper. But my body was telling me, you shouldn't touch pepper. Like, you're coughing. Spices, you shouldn't eat them. Look what's happening 2 days later. Or tomatoes, they're not good for you. They're undigested. Look at the skins of the tomatoes. So I had indications, but like everybody else, I was indoctrinated.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Claudia. I think, those indications, like in the past, like I never really paid attention, because I don't know any better at the time. But your body's pretty much saying, you can't have that. You see that runny nose, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what was fascinating to me is like every time something happened, I would go to low carb. And if you look at like the majority of the advice that you receive from a doctor, which, I mean, if bothers to spend 5 minutes to give you an advice, or what you see on the internet is cut the carbs. So when I would put on weight, I would cut the carbs, everything would be okay. I never cut the fruits and vegetables, but I was not the type of person to eat fruits on daily basis or sweets on daily basis. But I've never cut the bread. I've never cut the pasta or the pizza or anything else in my worst periods. And at the time, I never cut the Pepsi, Coca-Cola, whatever I was drinking. It's been, I think, 20 years since I had them. But every time I would cut the carbs, every time, and I would feel better. Even vegetarian, I was better, as I was vegetarian for a long time. My husband was Buddhist, so I was like, okay, it's a problem for me to cook every single time a chicken, beef, or something, or pork, because it's like I'm eating alone, and he's looking at me like another animal killed for you. So I was guilted into the vegetarianism. It was convenient. But veganism as well, I never felt right. But again, save the planet, take care of the animals, feel sorry for them and everything else. And I destroyed my health, basically. I destroyed my life. Doing all that, feeling sorry, compassionate for my husband. I should have stuck to my guns and everything else. So yeah, now looking at everything, I would say that what we eat, now I would say that everything that we put in our mouth has a direct influence on our health. I didn't even think, like when I started this journey, I had no idea how whatever I was eating was impacting my health and why I was sick. I had no idea. The inflammation went away. The rheumatoid inflammation went away. Everything else went away. That's
That's really amazing. With your health journey, can you talk a little bit about your motivation, like back then? Maybe you can compare them. Like, is it a night and day difference now compared to before? Like, like for me, example, I used to have like a really low motivation because I'm so reliant to medication. But now, I'm able to appreciate life more now, and I feel like I can enjoy it more now. So what about for you?
Yeah, I think you're coming from US, so it's like you're way more medicated than we are anywhere else in the world. Well, maybe here, and I don't know. So I've relied on medication only if I had to. So I was on medication just for a short period of time. I think 2 months for the rheumatoid arthritis. The longest that I was on medication was for about a year and a few months, maybe 2 months, June, July, August. So 1 year and 2 months for the Graves' disease, nothing else. So I was not reliant on medication. However, I was relying on food to survive. And that's what actually, that's the biggest change in my thinking. Since I've started this journey, I've realized that I eat because I need to eat, because I need to live. I no longer eat because it's fun, because it's cute, because it looks good, because the salad is trendy, or because my friends like it. I no longer eat for Instagram or Facebook or clickbait or whatever for my friends. I eat just because I need to live. That's the biggest change. And so I am in no, if I have a headache, I'll put up with it most of my time. I'll end up with a Panadol or Advil or something, but I am not on medication. What I have discovered is the freedom to exist, the freedom to live, the freedom to enjoy my life, to be free here. Because I was like, even though I was not on medication, I was brain fogged. I was living in a cloud. I didn't know, why am I sleeping 2 or 3 hours after I ate in the afternoon? I had to work and I was dozing. I was having 2 or 3 coffees to stay awake for my clients. And then once I switched to carnivore, I was like, I have energy. I can sleep 3 hours a night and I'll be fine. Well, I'm not going to do it every night, but I'm fine. I can go to the gym and train without eating. It doesn't matter. I'm fine. I can fast. I'm fine. I don't fast. I'm fine again. It's when you feel, and I don't think people have ever felt well in their life. So I'm feeling well since 2 years and a half, I'll say. I'll skip the 6 months, even though I felt amazing then. So, okay, 3 years. I felt and feel amazing. I still, sometimes I'm puzzled. How can someone look at somebody else thriving and say, nah, it's not for me. Not possible. I have to eat balanced. Or I have to take my medication. I don't know. I cannot understand it. And I'm working with the mind. I mean, I can understand. I know what's happening, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, you talk about brain fog. I think a similar experience for me. I think I feel, kind of like puzzled and dumbfounded at the same time because, what was I just doing? Like, all these decades, like doing all this balanced diet, like, paleo, and then, ending up in carnivore, everything is so simplified. There's no more emotional connection. I'm just eating because I just want to remain healthy, for the future. So,
yeah. I think I would say that food has become something for people to play with. Some people, because I see I used to watch so many recipes before, right? So it's like something that people play with, something that people sell, something. So it's baked into the society, and that's what I'm saying. It's like nobody knows. They don't. I would say the majority of people do not realize that it's not that it's a simple. This is not a diet. First of all, this is it's like I am a carnivore. Even though I can eat 3 berries and maybe some grains and survive if I have to, but I'm a carnivore and I don't have to play with my food because I'm not playing with my food. I eat it and I move on. That was the biggest discovery for me. It's like, wow, I can just eat a steak and be done with food. Is that possible? Yes. It's freeing. It's freeing because I really thought I'm an omnivore, I'm a vegan, so I'm an herbivore as well. No, I eat the herbivores.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, Claudia, looking back at the start of
Yeah.
your journey, were there any mistakes you made, like transitioning from like the vegan
Hmm.
lifestyle to a carnivore? And then, if there is, like, what and how did you learn from them?
Mistakes. So I would say that it's not necessarily a mistake, but I didn't know. Because everybody talks about eat fatty meats. Some people say eat fatty meat. Other people say eat fat. Other people say don't touch eggs. Other people say don't touch bacon. Even within our community, which I don't know, I'm not part of a community, but within the carnivore sphere, the lion diet sphere, the I want to be a carnivore and I'm eating fruit still community, right? There's so many advices. And so I would say if there was a mistake is that I did not start with a plan. I just jumped right in. So I ate whatever I thought it's okay. And I found myself constipated because I was not actually eating enough fat. And so first of all, trying to get rid of constipation without taking medication on a carnivore is not easy. Like I had to do a lot of, again, YouTube digging. How do you find that? YouTube digging is like how to get rid of constipation and what would be a potential cause. Because then again, if you go, it's like they will tell you, well, you need fiber. So how do you get rid of that? So I've discovered that would be my only mistake that I made. Not paying attention to the fat. I thought is enough what I'm having, and it was not enough. And so since then, I emphasize a lot of eating at least butter. So I can have 50 to 100 grams of butter. So that I don't know, maybe in pounds, I have no idea how much is it. I have no idea. Like I thought I know, but a pound is 450 grams, so about half a pound. Yeah, so about half a pound of butter. I make sure that I have it on a daily basis. It's like, if nothing else, on top of the steak, which is if I eat a steak, which is a ribeye or a strip loin, I'm enjoying a strip loin these days, or on top of a hamburger that is fat, I would still add butter because otherwise I'm in trouble. So that would be my only mistake. I didn't pay attention to the fat intake. I thought, well, fatty meat is fatty meat. That didn't work for me. And I didn't realize that's not necessarily a mistake. I thought the meat fixes everything and I don't need anything else. I didn't realize that my hormones, the female hormones, the estrogen to be produced and my ovaries to work, they need something else. So last year, it took me 2 years to reach that point where my period were a bit earlier. And so I went to ChatGPT because I don't have a doctor to spot. I mean, I can, but I don't want to talk to a doctor. And I went to ChatGPT. I was like, give me potential things, and I'll diagnose myself. I cure myself. So eventually, with the prompts, I discovered that I needed to add fish. So since last year, maybe October, September, I can't remember. October, maybe I'm eating sardines. So that was another mistake. I didn't look into the hormonal part of eating. Yeah, I didn't think that I need that. I thought, oh, carnivore cures everything.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. I guess I want to extend the question to this now. Like, so what does your typical day or week of eating look like now? Because you mentioned like
Oh,
you
yeah.
eat butter like 50 grams per day. So yeah, what does your typical day of eating look like now? Do you pretty much keep it consistent or switch things up? Maybe you can go like monthly or
Yeah.
even weekly. Yeah.
Depends. So depends. Like when I started, I was fascinated with steaks. So like I was like steaks and hamburgers and eggs. And so when I started, and I did have for a period of time, I had some cream and cheese and Greek yogurt. So it's like I had them for maybe 2 years. A small bowl of yogurt. So maybe again 100 grams of yogurt, some cheese, some cream with coffee. And I noticed over time that I actually gained weight. I was listening to Kelly Hogan, who was talking exactly about that. She has an issue with the cream. If she eats cream and then she eats protein, then she'll gain weight. And I think I gain maybe 4 or 5 kilos. So that would be maybe 8 pounds, maximum 10 pounds I gain in 2 months. And I was like, whoa, I shouldn't gain weight. Well, I know since then that you can gain weight. And so I've eliminated them, or I stopped eating them in conjunction with the protein, and everything came back to normal. However, this year I decided to go, like everybody, I like to call it clean. So since then I'm eating only meat, eggs, maybe bacon, maybe. So my meal today, I had boiled eggs with butter. I make a type of an omelet with some pork rind that it's kind of like a tortilla. So it's instead of bread. So I eat that. And that's it. That's everything that I ate today. Yesterday I had a huge tomahawk steak. So I'm very random. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like I'm very random. So in a month I would eat maybe mincemeat and eggs today or for the whole week. And then I'll switch and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to eat strip loin, and I'll have strip loin, and then I'll have hamburgers, and then I'll have some lamb. And so I go with what I feel like eating today. I don't do preparations. I just go every day to my butcher. I get some meat. I'm like, we know each other very well right now. And I'll just eat. Yeah. Or bone marrow or bone broth or whatever it is. I'll eat that. I'll eat sardines as well. So, but it has to be, everything has to be with butter for me, in my case. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Wow. Yeah. I guess I like the randomness, like it just when you have to eat something. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. People say that it's boring. It doesn't have to be boring unless you make it. I mean, if I were to eat hamburgers, I know Kelly Hogan was eating, I mean, she had for 5 years hamburgers. If I had to eat hamburgers for 5 years, yeah, I wouldn't be a carnivore, basically, or whatever, protein-based or something. And so it's not that I mix and match because I'm bored. I actually adore meat. It's one of those cases, it's like 3 years into it. If my neighbors are making a barbecue somewhere, I'm like those carnivores with the nose. Oh my God, it smells so good. I adore meat. It's just that I just go with, today I feel like eating hamburgers and I'll eat them. Or I'll ask my daughter, what would you like to eat today? She was like, oh, let's have some flank steaks. And that's kind of how I go with the flow. Not always, because if I travel, for example, I'll have to adjust to whatever it's offered to me. But yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Claudia, so is there anything difficult about carnivore for you? Examples for me, right, would be social gatherings with family and friends, who are not carnivore, the travel, having to scout foods for the location we're going to. The cravings in the beginning took me like a year to pretty much get it out of my system.
Really? That long?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then what else? I guess lately has been like the double-edged sword, because we're seeing all these benefits. But at the same time, you're seeing all the people who are kind of their health deteriorating. So it's kind of like doing something mentally,
Yeah.
But what about you? Like, is there anything?
Oh, I have so many things to say. I don't even know where to start. I'm so excited, especially since you mentioned all that. So, oh my goodness, like I need to hold myself back. You noticed I'm a very excited person. Since I feel so well, and in general, I'm a positive outlook. So I am more of a solution-oriented type of person than a problem-oriented type of person, because we have two ways of thinking. I see a problem, I'm going to obsess over the problem, or I see a problem and I'm going to seek a solution. So that might give you an idea how I started everything. I was looking for solutions to the problems that I was faced with. And so when I started the carnivore, so I'll tackle the friends first. In the beginning, since I went through My husband was vegetarian, so I was vegetarian, Buddhist in spirit with him. Then I was vegan. So my friends were and I tried different things. And I introduced some of my friends to the damn kale and quinoa and avocados. It's like, they're healthy. And so, yeah. I don't know if she my friend, she's like, we're still friends and we meet. And I hope if one day she's going to, you damn hypocrite. Now you're criticizing me for eating an avocado. You introduced me to it. And so in the beginning, my friends thought, she'll be fine. Or my family, she's going through this. Now, through time, they discovered that no, I'm not going back. 3 years into it, there is no going back. What was difficult regarding the friends was to say no. We're social people, family, friends, even in social gatherings, even while working, refusing a client's meal was not easy. And so in the beginning, I've compromised. So these are the 6 months. I've compromised with the alcohol. That was a social thing. So I would have a glass or two or something of beer, or maybe a glass of wine. I have compromised with some meals. Those were the meals that I would share with some friends. So I compromised. In a social, I still remember it was my birthday and they got me a cake. And I was already into past the 6 months. So I was already into the next years where I was eating only carnivore. And I did have a spoon of cake or 2 or 3 where I ate the whole thing. I can't remember. I think I ate the whole thing. And what I've realized is that I was pleasing friends, family, and clients, and I was hurting myself, to put it in a nutshell. So I had to sit down with myself and say, okay, so you want to be healthy. You found the solution to whatever you had before. You know for sure, Claudia, you know that you're good now. You know, this is your path. You know that if you stray from it, you're not going to be okay. And so what do you want? Do you want to please your friends and family? So go to an early grave or go again through your arthritis or go again to endometriosis, whatever. What's next? I was thinking since everything was autoimmune, I was like, man, my mind can come up with lots of things. Like my body is good. What is next on my list? Diabetes? Well, I played with it. We tangled. Cancer? What else do I want? And so that was the pep talk that I gave myself. I would say that most people, especially when they start carnivore, because we're talking about carnivore, we're not as aggressive as the rest as a vegetarian. I was quite aggressive as a vegetarian and vegan before. You should eat. It's like, now, no, we're very tame. We're on the defense, not on offense. For some reason, I don't know why we're defensive, and so I've realized that I have a motto: circumstances do not matter, my state of being matters. And so I said, this is it. It was not easy to say no. And I will tell you, you better get used to it saying no. If you matter more in terms of your physical, if everything that you have, I gain clarity. I feel good. I'm slim without doing anything. I'm growing muscles. I'm healthy. My hair is good. My teeth are good. I don't have to go to the dentist anymore. It's like, why would I compromise now? And please my friends who are still not well, they are inflamed. For what? What am I gaining? We want to belong. That's the last thing that I'm going to say. We want to belong. We don't know how to be strong. You can belong. I can belong to the same group of friends. I drink sparkling water when we meet, so no more champagne, no more Prosecco, no more whatever, no more beer, no more wine. I stopped it. I was sick as a dog eventually. But that's what carnivore does to you. Teaches you very well. It's like, you shall not touch this the second time. You know what will happen. So sick. I couldn't even, I was like, I went into a fly sick. I had to drink Pepsi to recover, Diet Pepsi, because I was a carnivore. Like, I have at least Diet Pepsi so I don't feel too bad. It's like, I'm not touching this again. Sparkling water is my drink. I don't know if it makes sense. And so with cravings, again, the deterrent for me, and that's why it's like I'm happy to talk to you and anyone. The deterrent for me is health. Like, if I were to now, if I sniff a cake, I'm like, ugh. I have a reaction. It's like, oh my God, it's so bad. But in the beginning, if I had, let's say, a desire to have a potato or have pizza or have pasta, I was like, why? You said you want to live to 120 and see the world. Like, you're not going to get there. Like, why? I would say that my why became important. I want to die healthy in my sleep or not. It doesn't matter. I want to die well. I want to live my life well. I want to be 60. I want to be 70 and travel the world. I want to see my grandchildren. I want to enjoy my life. I want to be 70 and look at young boys and say, oh, if I had your age. Because I look good. I don't go grandma and creepy and everything. It's a joke, but you know what I mean? It's like, I want to feel good. Like, why would I crave? Sure, I can crave meat.
Yeah. Wow. I feel like I've learned a ton, just listening to you about the, like compromising meals with friends and family. Yeah, I do agree absolutely about the, I think in the beginning, like trying to please them and then trying to gain some, their side. But in the end, you're not really, doing yourself a favor because you're ruining your health and they're not well as well. So it made total sense. Yeah.
And it's not even that. And I decided to walk the talk. There's the one thing that we say a lot in life. Most of the time, maybe we don't mean, hence my profession, what I do, right? I have a lot of clients and we talk about language, behavior, beliefs, right? And so I see myself and I see my clients. It's like majority of my clients do not achieve change in their life. They don't achieve whatever they want to achieve. It's because they don't walk the talk. They say, I want to be healthy. I want to be rich. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be married. But they don't walk the talk. A millionaire doesn't behave like a loser. A healthy person doesn't behave like you, doesn't eat crap. So it's like embodying that was the thing. I wanted to walk the talk. And then I convinced my daughter to try the carnivore as well. And so in the beginning, I was still cooking for her. And now she's full on carnivore. And she's 15, 16 years old soon. And since about a year, she's making her own eggs and bacon. And she's eating steaks and burgers. And the extent of her eating a sweet is whipped cream with eggs. And that's it. Kind of like an ice cream thing. So I had to walk the talk. Like, that's the thing. It's like, what do you want? You cried you wanted to be healthy. You had aches. You had pains. You were bloated, bone issues, cartilage, your fingers, endometriosis. It's like, and you said you want to be healthy. And now you're healthy and you're sabotaging yourself. Well, you deserve it, Claudia. That was the pep talk that I gave myself. And that keeps me going. That it's kind of like, now it's an inbuilt mechanism. It's like, this is who I am. And one more thing. I became Claudia the carnivore who says a ribeye away keeps the doctor away. I don't want to be that. I am that. So that's the difference, maybe, that maybe people they say, oh, it's hard, or I crave, or something. It's like, who do you want to be? Like the vision board or whatever, like, who do you want to be? And I think most people don't know. I have one friend who says, I'll die sick just because you asked me. But if you ask anybody else, they're like, oh, I want to have a good life and I want to get rid of this. And I'm going to, do you? I don't think so. People are not honest. I was honest. It's like, when you are alone with yourself, as I love solitude and meditation. And so it's like preparing myself for different things and mind games. And when I'm alone with myself, I look at myself and I say, you can be so full of shit with other people, but you can't lie to yourself. You have to look yourself into the mirror. So I think most people don't do that. They don't admit in the mirror many, many things. I was honest to a certain extent. Yeah. I became philosophical. Sorry, I took you on a tangent with my philosophy. So yeah, so it became easy. Just to sum it up, it became easy for me to say no.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Even if you go on a tangent, I absolutely agree with what you said because I think people lie. Especially when you tell them about the carnivore, like, do you believe it or not? And then they would tell you a lot of things to like maybe internalize it or maybe cope. But you have to be honest with yourself, like you said. I think to me that makes total sense. Um, Claudia, if you had to describe the impact of carnivore in your life, what one word would you describe it and tell me why?
Enlightening. Why? I didn't know I'm a carnivore. Well, actually, I didn't think any of it, basically. I didn't know that species appropriate diet applies to humans. I don't know why. I thought they were different than everybody else. So yeah, enlightening, I would say that's the word that I would put on carnivore. Enlightening. We can be healthy, live healthy, have a good life, medication free. That was enlightening. It's not that we achieve through carnivore. It's like we can do it since we're born. Yeah, enlightening.
That's a great word. You know what? I just missed this question.
Yeah.
So, I think it's awesome that you were able to get your daughter to become carnivore. Is your husband also doing carnivore now?
Yeah.
Wow.
2 years. He's yeah. I'm good at convincing them. I'm not good at convincing anybody else. What I've noticed is that, so my husband, he needed to try. And that's the hardest thing that most people do not want to try. And if they want to try, they do it for 2 days. And then they're like, I want to kill eat carbs. It's like, meat is not for me. And I'll admit it. When I started, I didn't like beef. Maybe it's my mom's cooking. I don't know. It's like, I couldn't stand beef. Even today, I have difficulties eating lamb. So my diet was quite simple. Chicken. And when I started, it was like chicken and that's about it. Chicken, turkey, and nothing else. So I had to educate myself. I had to educate my taste buds into accepting the beef. It was like every day. So I had more eggs maybe with the beef. And so, yeah. So what he needed was he would fall asleep after he had bread and French and cheese and they love their baguette. So he would have a half of baguette with cheese and a huge meal with some pasta or something. And he would work and fall asleep. For 2 or 3 hours, like, I'm falling asleep. I don't know. I need a coffee. It's like, how many coffees have you had today? 5. I can't keep my eyes open. So I say, since I'm eating, I'm awake. She's like, yeah, I noticed that about you. I have more energy. And I'm like, yeah. It's like, why? Meat only. So that convinced him. He convinced himself to try. He's not the type of guy to say, well, I'm not going to try, or like whatever. So let me make up my mind. And yeah. 2 years, he's 2 years into it, and my daughter 1.5 years in it. Yeah.
That's really amazing if you can convince family members, to do that. I think it's a journey at right now, trying to convince some family members as well. So yeah.
Walk the talk.
Yeah, absolutely. I will do that. Yeah. Claudia, so you probably heard this before, but knowing what you know now about nutrition and lifestyle, if you can give an advice to someone who maybe had some similar issues in the past that you've had,
oh boy,
and they see the improvement you've had now, with carnivore, but they're super skeptical about meat and the lifestyle, They have no clue. They think they're going to get a heart disease, some kind of heart failure.
Yeah.
What would you tell them?
Why do you believe what you believe? That was something that I had to reconcile. Why do you believe the fiber is good? Why do you believe that meat is not good? Like, start there, first of all. If you're skeptical, okay, why? Okay, when you know why, most likely it's nutrition, doctors, and the whole society. The thing is, we're talking about confirmation bias here. It's like everybody is the same thing. So it's like you're the outlier, even though I don't know why the vegans and vegetarians are not the outlier. Because you have Indian population, they're vegetarian for religious reasons. It's like, so again, going back to your why. Why do you believe what you believe? Okay, how do you know they are right? Why are they right? It's like, I'm not like, believe me, don't believe me. Maybe, I don't know, I eat cake and I sit here and I tell you I'm eating meat, right? It's like you can be skeptical. The thing is, like, don't believe me. Question everything that you know and ask yourself, if all these are true, why the hell are you sick? That's what I had to reconcile. Okay, if everything is true, why am I sick? Why are you sick? That's what I would ask. Because in the beginning, I was like, why you don't believe in meat? And I would give a long speech. I was like, my question is like, you're still sick. And when I say sick, you're inflamed, you're in pain, your gums are painful sometimes, you have headaches, you have migraines, you had maybe endometriosis and you don't even know why, and everybody tells you it's in your genes. Okay, what if it's not true? Aren't you curious? Aren't you, for me to be like, I'm very curious, like, why wouldn't you want to get better? Take your health in your hands. Take your life in your hands rather than renting it to somebody else. That's what I would say. And then give it a go. I mean, can eat cake a month later. You know?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I actually like your advice because, why is very important. And at the same time, I think it's really important to question, everything, even if you're skeptical. I think skeptic is, it's actually good because you get to question everything. So
I know, yeah, I know that people are not used to question things. And it comes from two places. It's because, well, lack of knowledge. If I don't have knowledge, I'll believe the authority. I know that. But there comes a time when you're like, okay, just why? Just answer yourself that question. Why? And if you believe the genes are making you sick, then, well, they will continue making you sick. That's a belief system that you're in. So I had to change my belief system as well. That's what I was going with, is like behavior and belief and everything that I'm thinking, I'm saying, I had to change it. Even though I was skeptical, I was still listening to doctors when they said, well, you have endometriosis and you have this and you have that. It's not like I ignored them. I had to deal with those issues. And yet, why?
Yeah. Claudia, my last question to you is your future outlook. How do you see Carnivore maybe in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you see it being in a good light or in a bad light? Meaning we can see censorship in the media, false information about it, misleading information, or maybe the meat prices going high.
Yeah.
And then the good light could be more people want to learn about it, reaching out to people like you, who knows a lot about it, because they're seeing a lot of healing. What are your thoughts?
So you asked me earlier, so I'll add that into, because we were talking about the meat prices. And yes, I've seen, especially we live in Dubai, so we went through a conflict and the prices went up. And I would say, if there is a will, there is a way. When I travel, even if I have to eat a patty from McDonald's, I would rather eat horrible meat from McDonald's than touch a pizza or a pasta. Because I've heard that. I'm traveling. It's like, I would eat that. I would eat a chicken full of curry that I'm just shaking off than to eat some rice with something else. So it's like, these are choices. We make choices. Meat is there. You just have to make choices. I still remember, it's like going to Greece and I asked for a pork medallion, and there were three tiny small pieces like this on a plate, and everything else were fries. So I asked them not to put anything, and they felt embarrassed, so they had to increase the portions. So there are ways. So where do I see Carnivore going? I think that is spreading. And I think that we, yes, through internet, yes, people can find them. Yes, there is censorship. Yes, there is pushback. However, in our day-to-day life, I think we create more impact, even though I can reach so many people now with the internet, but I think we create more impact in our day-to-day life, and these things spreads. Like, I'm known right now where I live. All my friends and their friends know that one is a meat eater. She calls herself a carnivore. And so I would say that we can, we can, even if they censor us, you can impact your family. And that's the thing. It's like many people think like, oh, we have to reach millions. No, I want to change the corner of my world. I change myself and I'll change the corner of my world. And from there, it will take off. So yes, I see that I think we're going through if I can call it a spiritual transformation, if I can call it that way. And it's not just changing diet, it's changing so many other things. And so I see carnivore taking off more and more. I see people coming at least to the realization that they need to eat a lot of meat on a daily basis. I see that happening. Yeah, I'm optimistic. So if you wanted a pessimistic outlook, you have found the wrong person. Yeah, I see us eating herbivores in the future, and yeah.
Claudia, that's a great outlook. Claudia, if people want to reach out or connect with you, where's the best place to reach you?
So as of now, my email, I did create a YouTube, it's called Carnivore Rewire, a YouTube channel. I didn't do anything about it because I'm still discussing with myself, do I want to dive into the, not diet, not necessarily nutrition and what carnivore is, but my approach is more of a belief, behavior, language that impacts the way we think and the way we make decisions. So it's like, that's more my angle. So I'm like, I do have a practice and I do work, and I'm like, do I want to go and do that? So it's been a month that he's sitting there. So if someone wants to find me there, they'll find me there. Yeah. Nothing is happening, but I can be found.
That's excellent. I'm going to make sure to post them in the description, and keep me updated with your YouTube channel. So I definitely want to see, what you're up to, and I can
Definitely.
Yeah.
I keep up the good job. It's like, just spread the word as much as you can, and we will take off. You will say we are taking off already. Health is contagious, not disease. Health is contagious.
Yeah, absolutely. Claudia, thank you again for joining me.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed hearing your story, learning about your carnivore journey and your perspective. I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you.
Thank you.